Orca focusing on what appears to be the mid lane, so it's just we're still expecting a mid to fly out apparently for Orca. YG Bloodseeker ban, very nice to see considering the games we had to watch. Jonathan, just get rid of it. doing Orca a favor just in case they were thinking about it. See the Void Spirit also being removed here from Team Orca. It's a thing, right? Like you could run the safe lane TA and you could pick someone else mid, but you really need something that can play quick, I feel. Because every support you're going to have on YG, they're going to need to take time to just soak XP and just farm a little bit. At the very least, soak XP. So you're looking for someone that's able to just leave the mid lane and either hit jungle or start making plays across the map. But the meta doesn't really favor that anymore. Like most mid laners these days, unless you're a TA, you tend to just farm side camps and just stay in the mid lane for the next 15 minutes. So I'm very doubtful about this YG draft. Even without the 5th pick, I'm very doubtful.
Yeah, it's just a bit too greedy. And you look at Team Orca's lineup, they can be all across the map with the IO, Mars, and Lash. They come online really fast. They've got good tempo with arena timing. They've got good push with the Leshrac and the Diabolical Edict. YG doesn't really have that Titan. They have some push with the DP, but we're already assuming a support. Unless they run it mid with a last pick support from YG, I think Team Orca has a lot of ways to just get a good closer here for VT Faded. Like that Drow we were talking about is still available. Luna's available if they want more push. They go with the Troll instead, which is still a really strong combo with the IO down the line. You have this really great scaling pause 1 that's going to be hard to burst down. And in lane, up against an LC Pango, it might be annoying for the Troll. You know, the Lucky Shot is annoying for a Troll, and overwhelming odds on a melee hero is really easy to land. But I think the Troll still has a lot to play with a Shadow Demon or IO support anyway. So it should still hold steady. It's going to be able to farm. It comes online a little bit faster than a TA as well. If that is your big win condition now for YG, which it tends to be. As Troll, it only really feels like what? You need Diffusal or a Maelstrom plus Sanjin Yasha and you're kind of set. And YG does close out with a mid. So Queen of Pain mid looks like coming out here to match up against the Lesh that does mitigate the TA lane. And they will more than likely run that TA safe now to kind of have a stable time. Up against GY's Mars, it doesn't feel too bad. You don't have the best way of burning through the refraction, especially since Yif is going to be playing the IO and Minyo Ping is going to be on the Shadow Demon. So you could run the Shadow Demon Mars lane to just make it more painful for the TA. It doesn't feel great. Like you think about the lane supports a TA has, it's either the Legion or the DP, and it's more than likely going to be, I think, the Legion. Neither one sounds amazing. I'd actually prefer a DP TA lane, but with the Legion Commander, you do have to press the attack to save, so you have that aspect. It just feels like the lanes of YG are just decidedly weaker compared to Orca, and Orca just gets started rolling on the lanes and snowball into the mid game.
Right. Well, give it to me. I mean, it sounds like you are backing Team Orca. I feel like that's the answer to the question. Yangon Galacticos, though, again, you kind of mentioned this in the last series, but they tend to surprise you quite a bit. They can take off. We've seen young PH make miracles happen. Just kind of depends on how good of a game he's having. Of course, both of us, though, highly doubt this draft is going to work out for YG, but, you know, we've been proven wrong over and over again. Don't take our advice if you are out there betting, because you will blame us later on, and we don't want to be blamed for that. So please bet with your own knowledge. Still, YG and Team Orca. Yeah, I mean, we both agree. Orca probably is going to run away with this game 1, but I'm hoping for a close game, John. I mean, that first series was nice and close for both games. Hopefully, we've got another close one on the line.
It should be. I think YG still has a pretty decent time to hit. They just have to ride through a very, very rough laning phase. It does feel like the first 2 levels, even up to the first 3 levels, just don't feel favored at all. But once they hit level 6 timings on these really greedy supports, they can shine. They can push themselves. They can take fights as well. They can buy space for that TA to be big, and that's going to be key. If they can get the space they need to get their TA to the point where it's really farmed, to get Kish farmed up, you have a lot of ways of keeping up with the IO. You have a lot of ways of keeping up against that relocate. You've got the Ags upgrade for TA down the line, which I think is going to be really good in this game, just to play against relocate, and I think that's one thing Kish will have to consider. It is like a 4th, 5th item pickup, so it's way down the line, but you do have that power in you for YG towards the late game. It's just that, again, Ragdoll's early timings, Mike, it is pretty scary. What?
Righto, boys, be careful what we say. Oh, here we go. The question's been asked. Somebody said the G word. Here we go. Just friends giving it to each other. Kish seems to know what's going on. He's concerned. KSH, he's not happy.
Yeah, Kish. God bless.
Anyway, oh goodness me, they don't stop. I mean, yeah, it's hard when they start like this because we can't make any jokes to run with them, can we, Jonathan?
No, we can't, Mike.
Young game. I mean, why not?
Good to see both sides in high spirits. Dougie giving it back as well. It's like,
What did Dougie say? What did Dougie say?
He's giving the head shake.
Oh.
He's giving the head shake.
That's
our
right,
best admin.
Our number one admin. Admin of the month, Dougie, is here, which is why the night's been running so smoothly, Jonathan. Love me some Dougie adminning. Very, very good. So luckily we do have an unpause going, so they can't say anything else that's quite inappropriate here between these two teams. So we do move into it. 5-man smoke up for YG. Is going to just be very early ward placement. I think we can both agree that the laning stage is going to be super important for the side of YG. Obviously, you lose out those lanes against a Troll Leshrac lineup. Chances are they are just going to roll all over you. I'd rather avoid that and just kind of at least even out the lanes if you are YG. I mean, hell, even if you just even out the lanes, it's still going to be very hard to kind of deal with the snowball potential throughout the mid-game of Team Orca. Let's see what they do though.
I could do this for
They just have so much. Like, I think about Leshrac level 7. At that point, you've got Edict at a really good point. You could just push in. Io level 6 with Mars Arena threat. The flash farm a troll can get relatively early on with, say, a quick Maelstrom pickup. And there's a lot Ragdoll can do. If they want to go greedy, they could go Battle Fury and Troll as well, depending on how the lanes go. They have so many options with their draft. Whereas for YG, it feels like just one playstyle here, Mike. Keep buying time for Kish. Hope the TA gets big enough without sacrificing too much in the side lanes and go from there.
Yeah. We've seen TA do it before. I mean, we saw it earlier on, so no doubt that it could happen. They are going to fight over these early bounty runes, but VT Faded is able to pick it up. Problem is he's going to take a substantial amount of damage on the way out. That's a menu ping problem, I believe, John, as he should have a salve on him, but he does not right now on that Shadow Demon. Unfortunately, he's going to have to heal up the old-fashioned way with the tangos here, VT Faded. Won't end up running back to the fountain. Though I suppose while we're here, John, VT Faded on the Troll, along with menu ping, going to be against AT and Skill Lay in the offlane. I suppose there is plenty of potential to get quite a bit of damage out here in this offlane of YG.
Yeah, they've got a lot they can do, and they've got really great presence. They can trade really well with that Spirit Siphon up on Skill A. He's going to be very tanky. AT as well with the Shield Crash is going to be hard to shove out. And Menyo Ping did go for level 1 Disruption, so he doesn't have the threat of Shadow Poison yet. Just going to hold back in this level 1 timing for YG to really pull out what they can. Still, not the worst lane for VT Faded. He can stand back, play with a range whirling axis, just keep farming up, keep, getting the farm. Doesn't really care too much if it's Menyo Ping getting harassed out.
Young PH.
He's the hard support, he's got a cop.
Citrus almost diving into that tier 1 tower for Young PH's life. One hit away from getting the kill, and Young PH still has to be very cautious. He's going to go for the Fairy Fire and try to fight back with the Shadow Strike, but Citrus is still right-clicking away. Way to tango up. Young PH does not have Blink up yet to be able to try and close the gap and snipe Citrus. But we might have to keep an eye on this mid lane for another few seconds here, John, because it looks like it could get very spicy. Now, talk to me about it, John. Is there an inherent advantage that one hero is meant to have over the other?
I feel like this is fairly even. I would actually give maybe a slight edge out towards the Leshrac in terms of wave clear. It does feel a lot nicer with this Lightning Storm. You've got the threat of a stun with the Splitter It. Young PH can try to dodge. He does go for a Shadow Strike build though. 201, no blink. So he's confident in trying to dodge out that stun, and you've got to be very careful when you do gap close. If Citrus does get the stun like that,
oh, that's a great
win
stun.
that trade.
That is a great stun. Right on time, John. Well done with that analysis as Young PH does get taken down. Citrus able to pick up first blood. A lot of pressure on Young PH, John. In fact, hold that thought, because Z-Rain was in a bit of trouble, but is going to be able to get out. But we did talk about this mid lane of YG. I mean, this is probably the most important lane to go well for the side of YG, and well, so far, it's not doing that.
No, it's going to lead to a bit of a snowball for Citrus. Sure, Young PH is going to have better rune control. Once he does, maybe get a value point in that blink. It just feels like going for this Shadow Strike build to try to trade. The regen isn't enough to keep you alive. Just see how little HP Young PH has after just TPing in. Forced to already use a bottle charge. Citrus is going to be very healthy here. He's going to keep shoving out, keep farming. And as a Queen of Pain, with your supports on hand, I don't think you can expect any relief. You've got a DP and Legion Commander support that can't do anything to help you in that lane as well with a rotation. So Young PH is kind of on his own. Can't really afford to slow for start.
Oh, Menu Ping, he might have a kill on his hands if he can land the disruption into some more Shadow Poisons. Does go for the 4 stack, but that will not be enough. Doesn't end up really being in range for the disruption. I think had he hit 5, he could have tried for the chase, but it would have still been a bit low with the stick charges that were there for skill late. Meanwhile, mid lane, Young PH is going to be able to get away. But my oh my, dropping very low again. Nothing to fill up that bottle with either. He doesn't have the ban rune to go back to. So all the way back to the fountain, it seems, for Young PH. That's only going to put him further behind, John. Again, we talked about him having to rotate out of that mid lane early to allow the supports to catch up in XP, but right now, it doesn't seem like that's going to be happening.
No, and this is just free runes out for Citrus as well. Full top up with Water Rune. Gonna hit level 6 a bit faster. Gonna be able to threaten with higher level Diabolic Edict. Again, it just boils down to what YG's draft has. Like, Young PH needs to win this individually because his supports don't contribute much to rotation, and Citrus knows that. If a Leshrak's allowed to dominate a 1v1 matchup with no relief, you can't punish him. Like, there's just no counterplay here for Young PH. Does go for a Scream of Pain at level 4 as well, so it's a 2-0-2. No blink means every time you get stunned, again, you just don't win that.
Citrus still taking full advantage every chance he gets. We really haven't talked about the top lane much, and they have gone onto Kish, but Kish is going to turn back around with Zorain. You've got GY and Yif there against them. So far, it has been a very successful lane for Team Orca as GY, he's just freely farming. Just nothing to contest him.
Yeah, and this is the surprising bit. Like, I expected the TA to maybe have a little bit more durability with a refraction, but it's not like they have anything to play on top of that. So you get to live longer, you have press the attack to heal up, you don't really have damage to eat for the IO and Mars, which is super tanky. And GY is going to have a smooth ramp up to his 6 as well, and even Yif is getting some good EXP, so Relocate's going to be up faster than you'd expect here, and that's just going to give Orca a lot of options for that mid-game aggression, lining up with the Leshrak timing. Young PH does finally have the blink on the Quap, so he does manage to bail out, but yeah, Citrus is just domineering that lane, 25-3 now, and you're just not getting much on the Quap. That Leshrak, it's going to hit level 7, Mike, and that Edict will be level 2. You could look for that push onto mid.
Still 1k net worth advantage, 1 kill the way of Team Orca. Nothing to write home about yet, but it is certainly a great start for the Radiant. The stacks are being made in the triangle to assist in trying to catch up after this pretty bad laning stage here for YG, but even those could be scouted. I mean, Citrus is a Leshrak, and he's got an Arcane Rune, so he's just going to go ahead and take them right off skill A, and there's just nothing they can do about it. Thank you very much. He does at least get the Crypt Swarm on the large creep, so he does take them himself on the DP, but now the chase is on. Young PH will join. If they can at least find this Leshrak kill, it'd be quite an amazing start here for YG, but the turnaround is here. They have brought VT Faded. Still, Menu Ping does drop, but VT Faded, he's going all the way. Even at level 5, he may have gone too far. They cannot tether to him and help him out, but the turnaround, Citrus is still there, going onto the Quap. They've lost the Troll, however. It's not a great team fight at all for Orca, but maybe they can still salvage something as they get AT, and they might even find skill A. So a 3-for-2 trade. In fact, was that a 3-for-2 or a 3-for-1, John? I believe it was a 3-for-2. But you lost the Troll in response to all that. Do you call that worth for Team Orca?
I'd say that's still a word for Orca. They clear out one stack in the triangle, they clear out their own stack here in the jungle. They're very efficient about it. They're building up in their snowball on the Leshrak. I don't think you mind losing your Troll at all. He's just going to be farming anyway. Right? He's just going to be sitting in jungle. We are seeing VT Faded work towards Yasha. You want Citrus to be the one to snowball hard, and he's reaching that point. 1.5k in the bank, going straight for a casual Hood of Defiance, maybe going to be upgrading that to an Eternal Shroud. Going to be very tanky, lots of mana, hard to kill. And YG just can't show up anywhere near the Slush. Look at Zalrain just melting to that AoE damage.
Absolutely, Zalrain. He'll drop. Nice easy kill there for Citrus. Just on a quick update on the weather outside, Jonathan. Apparently it's thunderstorming now, so just in case terrible things happen, because that last thunderstrike just shook the whole ground beneath me as Citrus is going to move in again onto menu ping, and Young PH just can't catch a break. My point is though, Jonathan, if for some reason the stream goes down, I just want you to know exactly why. Thunderstorms, not good for electricity.
Well, Mike, just want to let you know, I and all of chat probably mean this. We all love you if something does happen. Unfortunately for Zalrain, that love isn't coming true from Orca. He's going to be dead again as the mid push goes on. And Yangon, they're losing a lot of ground here, Mike. It's that early spike we talked about. These supports do nothing. What does a Legion Commander do against this? What does a support DP do against this? Nothing. And you're not far ahead enough on Young PH to potentially get a good fight going your way. So they're just forced to put the bodies down mid to stop a Leshrac push, opening up the side lanes for more farm for GY, for more farm on VT Faded, who's going in the jungle now. All the while their own triangle is just constantly being pushed against. Like, they don't have a big, large camp stack. They have the Ancients, but not stacked up as much as you'd want because of that risk. And you've got Kish is playing the top jungle, which he is finding farm, but it's not safe there.
Towards the north, yeah, they've got Kish. Relocate is out from Citrus, though he isn't in range for the Diabolic Edict, and Kish, he actually gets himself out of it. So a pretty big miss here from Team Orca. YG, they'll be pretty happy with that. Problem is, you're just going to head up to that top lane now. If you are Team Orca, chances are you are just going to go for that top tier 1 tower, while Citrus is still fighting mid lane, but this time he may have gone too far. Yif has not got the relocator help out, so Citrus needs to run the old-fashioned way. Sonic Wave, there might be enough, but the disruption is going to save menu ping, trying, and now the tether, the heals are there. Citrus has survived, and the turnaround is upon the side of YG as Citrus. He finally dies, but for a greater cause. As 3 for 1 is the trade. Young PH does find another, but the spear does land. Can they find this quap a 50th time? It feels like this game number 2, or rather 1. It looks like they can. A 4 for 2 trade. And a pretty disastrous fight here for YG.
I mean, it's still a massive kill to get the Lesh. That was a huge streak on Citrus, but it cost them way too much. Like, if you did manage to save your quap, I think you stop there and you're fine. You're very, very happy with taking the Lesh, losing a couple of heroes, but leaving your Queen of Pain alive. Doesn't matter when you lose all of that. The trade does feel rather even. Now the push comes out. No Rolling Thunder. There's no save to stop this. Fortify already forced out, so maybe a bit of a reset, but it's not enough to shove away this Lesh. He's got his full Hood of Defiance up. He's going straight Kai'San. He's not even going for the Eternal Shroud anymore. He just wants to be super tanky with a stat resist, with the damage amp from the Kaya as well. And YG are just still not set up. While all of that happens, VT Faded has taken control of top jungle. So your troll is still farming really nicely here, and no one can even gank this guy. He's level 9. Your supports are at 5. You just can't even just group up as 5 and try to pin down the troll with your supports not having key spells for control here yet.
I'm curious, did you know who took the tomb as well? Feels like Young PH might have needed it, John. He's I mean, he's level 9 now. I'm just wondering whether he took the tomb for himself this game. I didn't quite get to see it. Nevertheless, they're going to jump in there. Found menu ping. That'll be a nice support pick-off to secure. And with that, they should be able to move in onto that bottom tier 1 tower. Because you do have the Exorcism up on skill A if you need it. And hell, they might even just leave skill A to do it himself. You've got T there. Kish will join in. In the meantime, though, they've got to protect that mid-tier 1 tower. We know how fast it's going to melt to Citrus with that Diabolic Edict, and it looks like they've given it up. That's a massive loss now for YG. Suddenly the jungle is completely open for Team Orca.
Yeah, they're not defending that bot today. It will go out, and Kish will be able to find at least that bot jungle to farm in. But losing top control this early on is just bad news, and they can relocate for a fight anyway.
But they will. Onto skill A they go. Exorcism or not, it's just a support DP. It's absolutely no problem for Citrus to just delete this Death Prophet. They even go for more now. GY just jumping in by himself is not going to be able to hold on to T. It's a Press the attack is there to save, but you've still got to be pretty happy with that. You get a DP kill, mid tier 1 tower's gone. I believe even the top tier 2's been pushed in by our troll. It just feels like everything's going right here for Team Orca, and they're even onto the Roshan now.
Yeah, there's nothing stopping them. They've got a nice possessed mask as well, so no need for life steal here on Troll with all his attack speed and with a tether up. And there's no information from YG to spot this out this early on. I don't think they expect it. They're going to be surrendering that first Roche, 2 lives potentially up for VT Faded or Citrus. Both of them kind of use that Aegis really well. And this will just allow even more aggression from Orca. Like they've got the full Sanji and Yasha on VT Faded. He can look to join in. He would likely want his Maelstrom up first. But you could start thinking about the tier 2 top now. Citrus can just look to pressure, use the Edict, force some movement out. And YG, they do have some level 6s up. They've got Duel up in Zalrain. What do you really do with that Duel? Like, your burst damage is mainly in a Quap who's slightly underleveled, and look at Citrus just running through them.
Yeah, he runs like a machine. He's got the Eels up. The Rolling Thunder. I mean, you've got to use it defensively, I suppose, so he does just pop it. Does force them back, but now you know that Rolling Thunder's gone for a minute, so you could probably keep just trying to rush the triangle if you are Citrus and Yif. Things are coming out towards the top lane where they are going to see VT Faded. Thing is, can they make it there in time to actually contest this troll? I suppose in the meantime, now they know Arena's down as Kish does avoid it by GY. Relocate is going to fly out. It is a little bit off the mark though, but Zorain is going to be purged. In fact, never mind, they were baiting the TA the whole time. Kish will try to run, but I don't think there's any running, especially not anymore. King of the Hill. Relocate out skill lay. I mean, maybe they can fight back. You've got Zorain around as well. In the meantime, though, top lane is being forced in. VT Faded actually got T before he ends up going down to young PH. So they do kill off the troll in the meantime. And meanwhile, they are onto the DP now. Skill lane. Oh, there's no running. He'll try onto the IO, but there is no running. So they got the troll again, but they're going to lose 3 heroes for their trouble, including the Templar Assassin.
Yeah, and that makes it feel a lot better for the side of Orca. Again, because you're keeping that win condition in the TA just severely under-farmed. Kish, top of his team's net worth. 500 gold behind GY. Not a good point when you're up against Mars in that comparison. And look at the control coming out here. They just keep going on the triangle. They're cutting off YG from building up stacks. The one place they can get catch-up farm, they can't even build up stacks on.
They can't go triangle. Purge out. Zorain, he's been caught. GY, well, he didn't have a blink off cooldown at the moment, so couldn't have jumped in for the spear back. But they are just kind of sending a message to let them know they cannot go into their own triangle right now, and kind of goes back to that mid-tier 1 tower dropping as now Arena is going to catch out somebody into the spears or rain. Needs a way out. Chances are he probably is going to die, but no, he's still alive. In fact, they found Menu Ping instead. They'll be able to take down the Shadow Demon and perhaps Orca. They have gone too far, but here comes Citrus. That's the man you need to worry about as he takes down Zorain, but he's dropping low himself. He's got the Aegis, however. He'll want to keep the fight up, and here comes VT Faded onto Kish. He's got the TA, ensnared up and taken down. It might just be another cleanup. The skill lay does at least help kill off the IO, but he is going to drop to Citrus. In the meantime, VT Faded still chasing, but might need to run now as he does not have that battle trance up. Though he does have Citrus around if need be. In fact, Citrus wants to turn back around and see if he can find a target. All things being said and done though, I suppose it's not the worst team fight for YG. But John, they keep losing this Templar Assassin. That's who they're going to rely on to carry them through this game.
And that's the pain point for YG. They are winning some trades, but it's after they lose their big win condition. Sure, you're getting some cleanup coming through from Young PH, starting to get that build up on the Kaya into the Sanj for the Kaya Sanj. It's going to be a lot tankier up front. But it does feel like Orca's just in control every single time. Maybe they overextend a bit, give these openings out to YG, but even then the trades just aren't clean. And I think for Orca, they're not really going to pull back from that. They know their lineup just excels at running forward, at just constantly forcing fights. They're taking over this jungle again. They might find something big here.
Well, they got Zorain. Not so big, but it's something. Poor old Zorain just hit level 8 thanks to the camps around him being taken out. As you can see though, Jonathan, not many items going on for the LC right now, which is sadly what we kind of expected during the drafting phase. I mean, I wouldn't count YG out yet, but again, without your TA at the top of the net worth board, it's very hard to see you making a comeback. Gish is trying, just doesn't seem like it's fast enough yet.
The pace is just too slow. Still 400 gold behind GY's Mars. At the least, taking back the triangle does give some flash farm over to Kish. So the Desolator is going to be coming through next. He has to blink to at least relocate himself and put himself in a better spot. But Ragdoll are just slowly chipping away at that top tier 2. Not fully committing for that push. Still trying to build up that farm. We are seeing VT faded. He's got a basher up, Mike. Just flies in now. So he's got the ensnare, he's got the bashes, he's got the DD. Roshan still 3 minutes until we see that respawn. So unfortunately for Orca, no instant Rosh off the back of that. But now VT faded can commit for top. I don't see a defense coming out less than half HP in that tower. It's not going to last long. And best YG can do now is just use this moment to get farm in that bot jungle while it's free.
They will. Tier 2 to drop though. That'll be the outpost taken now. YG, like you said, just farming that jungle, trying to get that, at least some kind of catch-up going for themselves. It's just such a rough feeling right now for YG. So they've also got to be prepared to defend that top racks. In fact, Menu Ping, he found a big target. I think he's got the TA, and he does. That's what you wanted as Kish. He just can't run. No BKB up yet. He's got to rely on the press of the attack, but in the arena, it means nothing. Maybe they could try now. Relocate, it was not that far away. They're going to try anyway. The Spirit out from GY to hold them back. In fact, the Jewel is there. They might at least find the Mars, and they do. Not a bad kill here for YG, but VT faded. He wants to reinitiate. So does Citrus. They'll stick around that tier 2 mid tower and start chipping away at this objective. The YG, I think, will successfully be able to defend this time around.
They managed to stave it off. They find a pretty good kill in the Mars. But again, you traded your TA, technically, in that exchange, so it still doesn't feel clean. Your TA is still lagging behind that Mars despite him dying. And you're still losing a lot of ground. Look at Citrus and Yif, they're just not done.
Now T will try to run, but well, chances are you're not getting out, as he does have another swash. Will commit it. Citrus still just rushing through the tree line, trying to find this Pango. Is almost there, but T, oh, the Observe Ward going to give the vision, and the swash is a bit short, to say the least. Still Citrus believes he's there. He is correct. He is indeed there, and he finds him. But it's a nice attempt, just trying to hide in that little spot in the middle, but not quite enough against the Leshrac.
It is a lot of commitment out from Orca. You could say that space spot out for YG to farm. I don't think Kish is in the safest spot to use that space, though. Does at least blink out from GY. But the pressure is still coming across the map. VT faded, starting to push in bot. Still getting the farm up. BKB only 2 ports away. So the build-up is really nice here for a troll. YG still needs a lot more to flow in. And at the least for them, they're inching towards that point where Zarain will have his Ag Shard. That's the big power spike for the LC support there, Mike. You'll have the spell immunity on press the attack. They might be able to break off some of the combos. Ragdoll is looking to push out, but remember, that spell immunity isn't that long. So it's really just to back off. You still have to kind of push yourself against all the magic damage coming through from Citrus, and without, of course, having your own BKBs, you're still not going to be able to walk up and fight the Leshrac until full BKBs are made.
Citrus, just no fear in the world here. It really does go back to the BKBs not being existent right now for YG. You're going to have the Deso soon on Kish, but again, without the BKB, he just cannot fight. Meanwhile, GY, again on that Mars, just having a look around for a target. He always knows the relocate backup is going to be there with Citrus. So just no fear in jumping in and setting up for the team. Same kind of story for Menu Ping. In fact, they're going to find Kish again, it seems like, as Menu Ping now. He can't believe his eyes. Relocate, though, is not going to be there. Not quite the position they wanted. So I question whether this Deso was the right item choice here for Kish. Is he going to be able to get to the stage where he can find a BKB in time before they've lost too much?
Well, they're going to try to force something with that Deso, at least smoke out, and they might be able to get a good flank here on Ragdoll, but they're also protected by his smoke, so Orca can be able to hide back, and Minyo Pink could break the smoke for them.
Yeah. In case my mic picked that up, by the way, that was the Thunder, as GY is going to move in. And looks like they have got one deleted. Menu pings down on the Shadow Demon. GY just going to go for the BKB TP play out and might just make it, though Yip has been left behind along with Citrus. It'll be a massive pick-off if they can get it. Citrus already so low. He'll pop the Bloodstone, but they got the Jewel off. That's what you love to see from YG. And if they could get to the Roshan pit, they'll have first dibs.
And that's big. Orca kind of disjointed there. They managed to break the smoke well, but GY BKB TP, while the relocate play was in there, well, they get themselves in positions. Really good punishment out, although.
Oh, he gets the bash off, so he's going to get Zor Rain, but can he... Oh, that's a great spear out from GY. Oh, and the whole advantage they got is just going to go right down the toilet unless they don't have detection. But no, they get the TA, and now they move in for more. They want that Pango. BT Faded dropping low, but getting so much already as he gets another target. Young PH now being speared up at GY. He's quite low on HP himself and might just go down. In fact, Young PH, he'll go for even more. Back in onto Menu Ping, but they've got to be a little bit careful how far they dive, as now Yif's here to save the day and turn back around onto Young PH, who might be able to blink away in time. And does, at least before Citrus gets there. But they have successfully stopped YG from getting into that Roshan pit. Even if it does cost you your troll, you'd have to call that worth for the side of Orca.
And they cancel off that momentum swing for YG. They don't manage to take any objectives off from that exchange. And they lose their TA again. Like, this lack of BKB on Kish is really hurting the side of YG, and it does have to come through rather quick. They are doing a good job of keeping that troll in check, though. When the BKB fades and Battle Trance is off, the Spirit Vessel just absolutely ruins him in front line. I think he's going to need a secondary source of Dispel, if not just get the Ags up to kind of fix that for himself. That could be one way to get that done. We don't see troll Ags too often nowadays, but it's still very impactful. That would be quite the gold saving, though. And YG, despite the back and forth, nature of this game, despite them being at an 8k disadvantage, they are still up there. They're starting to see some of that damage output come through, but they've got to contest this Roche. BT Faded's already in. No wards from YG in the area, Mike. Looks like they might give this one away for free again.
There'll be the shards out. Oh, Orca. We go, Roshan. Freebie the way of Orca, as now they might just want to rush again. They've got the Battle Trance back up, so they're more than happy to fight, I'm sure. It's going to be a smoke from YG, but I believe that'll be just to try and relocate away from the mid lane and just go somewhere else. Down to the bot lane where they can actually secure some farm. Thing is, it does seem like Orca's going to go all the way to the high ground now. You've got a Leshrac, you've got a Troll, there's just not really much in the way of stopping you. Even the TA, again, Kish, he just does not have the BKB yet.
Their defense is just difficult to pull off. They will bring the bodies forward, but their lack of AU control is going to be an issue. And Ragdoll just melts these objectives. Fortify already forced out early on. Next wave's not too far off here, Mike. They can really just commit here.
But they can, especially when you've got this AoE stun just constantly happening on BT Faded. Like, how do you actually jump in to start this fight? The Rolling Thunder, I suppose they can, and they will. Back in onto the Troll. BT, he's got the BKB to play with, along with the Aegis. No stress for him quite yet. So I suppose now they just kind of wait out the Exorcism. Or maybe not even. In fact, they're going to jump in. GY, he's there. The Yule Scepter is going to save. Skill lane now going to try and man up. The bash is out from BT Faded, and there goes your DP. Immediately taken down before the team fight really even starts. Is VT, who has been without a BKB now, so he might be forced to back off and leave the racks till later. And it does appear that's what they're going to do. They're going to try and address the bot lane instead. They'll just walk away with an 11k net worth lead and give a bit more time over to YG.
This will allow YG to regroup, try to get the farm in. I'm looking at Kish's build. He's going back for the Dragonlance. He's skipping BKB again. Oh no, he's already got BKB. I'm blind. So the BKB's up. Dragonlance is going to be next. More stats, and with the BKB, he can stand a fight. That's still a fresh 9-second charge. So he can do something against that Lesh. I think that's the big turning point here for YG. They aren't in a very bad position, all things considered. Only a tier 3 down, rack still intact. We have seen moments where they can get a good jump in with a duel, isolate the Lesh, burn him down, burn down the Troll as well. Especially once the battle trance is gone, it's a lot more manageable. But look at this move from Orca. They're smoking up top. They want those racks gone.
They do. It will rain. Trying to push him away with the Psychic Headband. I suppose that's one way to do it. Rolling Thunder, it's going to be there. Onto the Troll, Spear, not going to land onto the TA. Yeah, did press the attack anyway to purge that off. But they're not really dealing with the Troll. Now the Pash flies out through the Rolling Thunder. Arena drop, but it is going to be a bit of a whiff here from GY. And they actually may not have enough time to go after the racks, so they're still going to try. Nice Spear out this time. They press the attack again. She's going to purge that stun off. As faded, he'll get silenced up. They'd love to try and find a way to burst him down, but they just can't do it while this IO's tethered. Still, they do successfully hold high ground. And Orca, they cannot make the push successfully.
They're prevented from taking that big melee rack, so YG, again, losing a range racks isn't the worst situation. The top lane will still be worth some farm whenever they shove it back, and that should allow that steady build-up for themselves to stay in this game. The network gap between Kish and BT Faded isn't actually too bad, considering this. Like, 2k is big, but not unplayable for the TA. The issue still stands with Citrus, but we're at that point where Leshrak's going to have to deal with these BKBs, and it just doesn't feel great. Although GY hunting down here.
Yeah, he's been great on this Mars, just constantly finding targets, and they got the use off just in time to cancel the TP off. GY misclicked the BKB, it seems, but it won't matter. Everyone's just testing their BKBs today, apparently. Nothing wrong with that.
Nah, definitely not. I don't think there's any major threat now. You take care of the DP, that's a lot of the magic damage. The silence is gone, so a big piece of control is taken away here from the side of YG, and that should allow Orca to clear out this last outer tower. Bot tier 2, last thing left outside their base here for YG. YG just playing on the opposite side of the map. YongPH taking the top 2-1, getting what he can while he can, but they still got the Aegis for a bit here, and only 20 seconds left, so it's a bit of a risk for VT Faded, but they could go all in now.
They've got a bit of time, 15 seconds left now for VT. He's going to jump in, YongPH trying to chip him down. I mean, you've still got the IO right behind him, along with that Battle Trance and the BKB, so I suppose he does have those backups as well. But it looks like he'll play it safe. Just tier 3 tower, let the Aegis expire. Can always wait out the next one. I think they just understand how far behind YG is right now. Chances are, with this TA, you're not going to be able to catch up. Now, to make matters worse, for YG, there's a double damage rune now to be bottled up by, I believe, VT Faded, and it's very hard to imagine them winning a fight into that. You look at Dota Plus, John, 96% right now in the favor of Orca. Not really giving much of a chance at all to YG.
I mean, they've got this overwhelming map advantage. They've got this great network lead, which, to be fair, is mainly on Citrus. But again, you've got a pretty good lead on VT Faded. He's got the Satanic up, going for the Scotty next. And at that point, I think you're pretty set on that Troll. Like, his one issue is the lack of Dispel once he pops a BKB in Battle Trance. But with a Satanic, at the very least, he can still have a Dispel on hand to deal with that Spirit Vessel and just keep cleaning up. You are getting some steady build up in YG though, Mike. BKB up in skill A, so he's a bit harder to pin down. Up against a Troll, doesn't really matter. We've seen the bashes coming through. We've seen the roots coming out. That will slow down once more our Leshrak here. Citrus is starting to fade off, but he's still having a lot of presence up front, especially as the BKB's fade and all.
BKB forced down, YongPH. He's still going to clear out the creep wave while he has a chance, and that's going to be enough for him. He'll be forced to back, but the immediate rotation from Orca through that bot lane. Oh, they might find Kish. He won't be expecting this on that TA. Oh, he's dropped his items too! Oh, GY got one. GY's got something that belongs to Kish. And Kish, he's not going to be happy about that. That'll be the TA gone without buyback gold, by the way, Jonathan. As T's just going to roll himself out, but Citrus is still chasing them down. On DLC they go. Ghost Scepter is definitely not going to save against the Leshrak. That'll be another down without buyback gold. GY, I think he got a plate mail off the TA. Or was it a plate mail? What was it?
It looks like a... I'm not sure. I think it's a Slippers of Ashi.
Oh, it's the Sage's
That doesn't
Mask.
sound right. Yeah, it's kind of changing around with both. Yeah, it's changing around with the slot, but it is one of those two, not the highest value items. What was he doing standing there though? That was such a strange spot to swap your items. That's just a big opening for Orca. VT Faded being jumped, but he still has BKB. Battle Trance not too long for cooldown now. They take the bots at racks there cleanly, Mike, and YG are in a very bad position because the high ground push is going to come through now.
16 seconds without the TA, and again, you know the buyback gold is not there right now, so you can just keep going if you're Orca. We'll try to deal with GY. Young PH is going to force out the BKB of the Mars, but a nice spear back. They've got the Death Prophet again, and VT Faded will have his way with him. No buyback on him either. This T is going to try and create a bit of space with this Rolling Thunder. Citrus, however, he has his eyes onto Young PH. Now Kish, he has respawned on that TA, moving into the Troll. The heals are too high, and now the Battle Trance will come in. Young PH and Kish, they've been speared up. It's not looking great for him, as they'll lose all rain, and now they might just lose T. In fact, Young PH is still trying to run, but the bashes are there. BT Faded's got 3. That might just be game. GG. YG, they could not make the draft work, John.
No, they started off with way too much flex with the DP and Legion Commander supports, and to be fair, these are heroes that YG love to run as supports. I don't know if we see them together as a support duo all too much, but I think being forced to run both of them as supports hurt them a lot in this draft. Like, there was just no impact from these two in lane. Right, like Skill couldn't do anything, Zarain couldn't do anything. Young PH had a tough lane matchup up against the Lesh, and these two supports, they did start coming in maybe by the 4.5 minute mark. They couldn't do anything. Like, you had this overwhelming advantage already up in Citrus, and just managed to run them down. All of that happening while VT Fade is just farming freely. Like, he had such a great game in comparison to what was happening there for Kish that he just managed to build up so fast. They took control of that triangle. They stole away stacks. They kept forcing fights from YG that YG was in no position to take. And I think for the next game, Mike, YG's got to clean up that draft and look for something to be a bit more active, because Orca plays really fast a lot of the time, and YG just wasn't ready this time.
We'll see what they do in this second draft, which will be up in 10 minutes. We are going to head to that short break, and right after the break, we'll be back with Game 2 between Team Orca and Yangon Galacticos.